Welcome to the Idaho Fishing Report. Whether you are planning just a couple of hours or a full weekend of fishing, this is your one-stop place for all the information you need to plan your trip. It's all right here, from weather forecasts and reservoir levels to the latest stocking reports and expert advice. And now, the host of Idaho Fishing Report, Jeff Cullers.
Well, welcome back, anglers. I hope you had a great 4th of July and you had a safe one, stayed home and cooked out, or if you went out, did a little fishing or a little boating, I hope you had a great, safe 4th of July holiday. But it's time to get back to it. Jordan Rodriguez joins us and he talks about trying something a little different going fishing. I have your regional updates. It's gonna be a beautiful weekend. The full moon's rolling around. I have all of that information for you, including stocking and fishing tournaments in each and every region. So anglers, sit back and relax. This is the Idaho Fishing Report. All right, let's kick it off in the Magic Valley. Sunset will be around 9:17 p.m. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Friday's going to be 97, but then it's going to get into the mid to lower 90s Saturday through Monday. No chance of rain at all. There 9 to 14 mile an hour winds. Tuesday, it's going to be a scorcher, 100 degrees with an 8 mile an hour wind. Barely goes down Wednesday and Thursday in the upper 90s. Your reservoir level and boat ramp information for the Magic Valley. Lake Walcott sitting at 93% full with an elevation of 4244. The boat ramp is open. Little Wood is sitting at 92% full with an elevation of 5233. The Little Wood boat ramp is open. One major stocking in the Magic Valley, Lake Cleveland is getting 5,000 trout stock. One fishing tournament to talk about. On July 9th, the Idaho Walleye Unlimited will be at Salmon Falls Creek Reservoir, and they'll be using, of course, the Lud Drexler Park ramp. All right, folks, we are back after a week off for the July 4th holiday, and happy to have with us journalist, owner, and creator of Tight Lines 208, Jordan Rodriguez, with his hot tip of the week. Jordan, how are you doing after the 4th of July?
I'm doing great, Jeff. I spent it on the Oregon coast, and it was really nice. Had a great time with the kids, doing a lot of outdoorsy nature beach stuff. And of course, did a little bit of fishing while I was there, and that's the inspiration for this week's hot tip.
Well, lay it on us.
Yeah, so if any of the listeners out there have ever done rock fishing, and that's an animal, not the stone variety, a very common species of fish off the Pacific coast, especially here in the Northwest. And they are delicious for one. They're very plentiful for two, and I would liken them to they have a kind of a similar body type as a bass. Some of them actually look very much like a largemouth with different coloration. They come in a wide variety, but they're all kind of behave the same way, and they're mostly found associated with the bottom in anywhere from 30 to 100 feet of water, sometimes even deeper. So these boats, go off the Oregon coast and go out and get the rockfish. They're a very guide-friendly fish, I guess you'd say, because they are pretty numerous. They're pretty reliable. It's almost like finding schools of crappie, right? Like once you know where they are, you can just kind of go back to them over and over again. And of course, they're very good eating, and they don't get huge. Like a nice one is, 3-4 pounds. Again, kind of like a bass, but they fight a lot better than any freshwater fish, of course, because everything in the ocean has all sorts of stamina and energy. It's pretty wild. But in any case, all the times I have done this before, it's been done the exact same way, and it's really the only way I was aware of doing it is you drop very small jigs, oftentimes multiple on a line, like you would with crappie.
Okay.
And sometimes it's like a grub or, that looks almost exactly what you'd use for crappie. And some guys they call them flies, but it's all just very finesse, small stuff, right? Well, I went out with a friend of mine, Nick Young. I think we've talked about Nick before on the podcast. He used to guide over on Owyhee in Eastern Oregon for bass. He's a big bass tournament guy, and he's been guiding now for a number of years. And he's getting started up guiding over there on the coast as well, with some rockfish and salmon and lingcod stuff.
Mm.
Well, the thing about Nick, one of the things I've learned from Nick is there's always a different way of doing things, and kind of that outside the box thinking. And I think we've touched on this on previous pods as well, because you always have, whether we're talking about crappie fishing, bass fishing, whatever, there's kind of your established norms of,
Right.
you can go out and do these things. Well, Nick is such a talented angler and such an outside the box thinker. And he's really only done this like a couple of times in his life. And already he's like unlocking some things that I've never seen and that I think are going to be really successful for him business wise, because he's doing it in a way that I think is more enjoyable. And for us on this particular trip, led to some really outstanding results in terms of quality. And what we were doing is fishing the same way, like vertically, but with big swim baits. So like
Mm.
large baits, like flukes and things that you would, similar to what you might use for bass fishing, but 3 to 4 times the size of the baits that are used on these traditional, guided tours and all the rockfish boats. And what happened was we were still catching, really good numbers. Didn't really notice a downtick in the numbers, but the quality of fish was just phenomenal. I mean, we were catching limits of like 3 and 4 pound black rockfish, which is outstanding, and also some more lingcod and some of like the bigger species mixed in as well, because we're using these much larger baits. And so it was just a good reminder to me. Years ago, I learned kind of a similar lesson on Brownlee. We were trolling with really big crankbaits, and we were targeting flathead catfish, and we started catching like 15 and 16-inch crappies. And it just opens your eyes to like, well, we don't think of crappie as like these, ferocious predators. But when they reach that size, they really are. And you're not going to be catching, the small fish doing that. But if you're after the big ones, if you're looking for a trophy, if you're looking for kind of a different experience with it, changing up your gear and experimenting with things can really lead to some spectacular results.
It's crazy. I've thrown some baits in and some bigger baits and catch small bluegill and crappie, an average size crappie. And I'm like, you had no right to go after that lure. The lure's almost as big as you are. So it's amazing what a fish will hit in the water. Whether they're doing it to be defensive or whether they're doing it because, it's the buffet for them.
One of the things that I think might deter people from doing this is, unless you're friends with a guy like Nick Young, you have to be willing to try and fail things, right?
Sure.
And even a guy like Nick does, I'm sure, has moments where you have to be willing to spend time throwing things and changing things up that you don't know for sure might work, and then just see where it leads you and see what the results are. And but I think as you do that, and people like Nick have learned through experience over a variety of species and a variety of scenarios, that you kind of know going in, it's like, I think this is probably going to work. Like as we were going out to the ocean, he's like, I'm pretty sure this is going to go. If it doesn't go, then we can go to the traditional stuff. But I've got a feeling that this is going to work out for us. And it works great, So, but there is a little bit of that, leap of faith of like, well, we got to be willing to put in the time and try some things if we're ever going to figure out, a different or better way of doing things.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's a life lesson as well as a fishing lesson, right? Sometimes you've got to try something different. Um, I heard the other day, if you follow everybody else, you end up where everybody else goes. So sometimes you just got to try stuff. So good stuff. I agree. It's easy to stay in that rut and grab that favorite lure, and I think we've already talked about that once this year, like you said. And so try some new stuff. I like it. All right, we got any classes coming up anytime soon?
We do. We have catfish are jumping. And that is going to be happening in July here, July 20th, which is a Wednesday night. We're about halfway sold on that one, so we do have seats available. We'll be talking, of course, all things catfish, channel cats, flathead cats, a couple other kind of sneaky varieties of catfish we have here in Idaho. So if you want to know more about catfish, how to catch them, how to cook them, all of it, we'll be doing that July 20th at Catfish or Jumping.
It's a fun class. I've been in it, and it's great. So I highly recommend folks should get signed up and listen and learn a few tips. Jordan, I appreciate you joining us this week. Love the tips, and definitely like the philosophy of trying some new stuff. We appreciate you joining us, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Likewise. Thanks, brother.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. All right. Well, big thanks to Jordan there. And exciting news we have. We have an opportunity now. If you want to help support the show, you can do that through Patreon. We have a link on our website. Just go to gemstatefishing.com, click on the Patreon site. Here's some good news though, listeners. If you sign up to be a Patreon, there's a lot of advantages that you get. Like you will get the podcast before anybody else does. But also additionally, we're going to give you a discount to any of Jordan Rodriguez's Tightline 208 classes. Plus, we're going to give away a seat in every class that he has in the coming year, simply because you're a Patreon listener. So if you'd like to support the show, you can do it for as little as $5 a month. And you can do that to help us continue to grow, and you get some great discounts, and you also get some great advantages. So go to gemstatefishing.com, click on the Patreon page, and become an Idaho Fishing Report patron. Treasure Valley, a little closer to the capital city here. Let's start over in the Mountain Home Bruno area. Sunset will be around 9:24 p.m. Again, almost 100 on Friday, and then mid 90s all the way through Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, triple digits. So be very careful. Winds look to be pretty calm, 10 to 14 mile an hour through the weekend, and then 7 to 10 for the rest of the first part of the week. A little closer to Boise, sunset around 9:28 p.m. Upper 90s on Friday, lower 90s Saturday and Sunday, and then back up in the upper 90s on Monday. Triple digits in Boise as well, Tuesday through Thursday. So be very mindful of that. Winds are pretty calm. Over the weekend, 9 to 12 mile an hour. And in the first part of next week, 7 to 9 mile an hour winds. Your reservoir level and boat ramp information for the Treasure Valley. Anderson Ranch is sitting at 97% full with an elevation of 4193. All boat ramps are open. Arrow Rock is down, 81% full, with an elevation of 3198. However, both ramps are still open. Lucky Peak is at 99% full with an elevation of 3054. All ramps are open. Lake Lowell is also down, 63% full, with an elevation of 2524. All ramps are open. There's one major stocking to report for Treasure Valley. The Big Trinity Lake will get about 2,000 fish stock. There's 2 fishing tournaments to report. On July 9th, the Snake River Bass Masters will be at CJ Strike using the Black Sands. And go ahead and stay the night, because on July 10th, the Mountain Home Hog Hunters will be also at CJ Strike using the Black Sands boat ramp. Hey, guess what, listeners? We have a new website. That's right, it's gemstatefishing.com. Go there to check out all the links, because you can get all the information we provide here. You can also contact us through the site. All right, heading up 55 to the Cascade area. Sunset will be around 9:31 p.m. It's going to be gorgeous. Temperatures in the mid 80s for the high on Friday and Saturday. Low 80s on Sunday. There's a small chance of rain, as there usually is up in that area, but winds are very calm, 6 to 9 miles an hour all the way through next week. Monday starts to creep up a little bit. It will be in the upper 80s and then in the lower 90s Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Let's look at that reservoir level and boat ramp information for the Cascade area. Cascade is sitting at 93% full with an elevation of 4826. All ramps are open. Ring the bell and sound the siren. Deadwood is 100% full with an elevation of 5334. The Cozy Cove boat ramp is open. Man Creek is down, however, 86% full with an elevation of 2883. Both the south and north ramps are still open. One major stocking to report in the Cascade area. Warm Lake will get 6,000 total fish. Now, they're going to do this over a couple of different days of 3,000 each, but total, they're going to get about 6,000 fish before the 8th of July. 2 fishing tournaments on Lake Cascade, back-to-back days. On July 9th, the Idaho Bass Federation will be at Lake Cascade using the Sugarloaf boat ramp. And on July 10th, using the same lake and the same boat ramp, the Sugarloaf, Idaho Bass Nation will be there as well. Hey, do you want to be part of the show? Email us with questions or your fishing report from your last trip. You can email us at gemstatefishing208@gmail.com. Want to send me pictures of your fish? Send it to myfish@gemstatefishing.com. And if you have questions about the show or want something answered, email us at questions@gemstatefishing.com. All right, let's head over to that Idaho-Oregon border and see what it's like on the Snake River Reservoir area. Sunset will be around 9:36 Mountain Standard Time. Going to be pretty warm, mid to lower 90s Friday and Saturday. Very small chance of rain on Friday, about 7%. It goes down a little bit on Saturday. And then after that, it is sunny, sunny, sunny. Highs in the upper 90s and triple digits through the rest of the week, Monday through Thursday. Very calm winds, 5 to 8 mile an hour. Brownlee is sitting at 2074. All ramps are open. There are no stocking or fishing tournaments to report for the Snake River Reservoir area. You can find us on Facebook groups, or you can follow us on Twitter at Idaho_report. All right, it is time for that moon phase report, and boy, anglers, do I have a good one for you this week. All right, your first quarter will be July 6th, so by the time you hear this report, we will have passed that, and the full moon will be on July 13th. Perigee is on July 13th as well. Your next apogee circles around on July 26. We are coming out of the first quarter and slowly working our way towards a full moon. It's going to be a great full moon on Wednesday. Peak times over the weekend will solidly be in the good range between 9 a.m. and noon. And we're going to mirror that peak time from 9 p.m. to midnight. So let me explain that though. So on about Friday, you're going to see about 9 a.m. That's going to be your peak time. By the time you get to Sunday, that peak time is going to move to noon. So somewhere in that range is when you want to be fishing if you're trying to target just a specific time. Now, you'll see another soft peak time. And when I say soft, I mean we're coming just out of the poor and into the good between 4 and 6 p.m. as the weekend progresses. Now, let's talk about the first part of next week, because those peak times shoot up solidly into the excellent zone. Peak times will be at 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. And then you're going to get another one around 7 a.m. Now, on Monday, you're going to see, that kind of moving, but we're going to see our best peak time starting on Monday, working our way to Thursday around 7 a.m. and then at sunset. All right, angler, it is time for my grade. And by golly, I've been waiting all year for this one. This is it. This is our A weekend and week coming up. I would probably give the weekend A minus, just simply because we're still kind of coming out of that first quarter, working our way to the full moon. If you're a believer in the moon phase, you know that 3 days before that full moon and 3 days after is your best time. So with that full moon being on Wednesday, Sunday is really going to be about your first good day if you're follow the moon phases. But I would say that if you're getting out this weekend, you're going to get an A. Definitely Monday through the end of the week into Friday, you're going to see some great fishing. The weather's going to be nice. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be hot. So make sure you hydrate and you have lots of sunscreen. But that is my grade. It's an A. Well, we're putting the wraps on another episode here of the Idaho Fishing Report. Glad you came along with us. Just want to kind of recap some things that have been going on. I've been doing a lot of research lately on some of the reservoirs in southern Idaho. Had a chance last week to visit quite a few down in the southeast region. Daniels Reservoir, Treasureton, Oneida Narrows, some of these that I don't get to very often because they're over in the southeast part of the state, and it was really kind of cool to see some of those new places and kind of understand where they are and how they fish. But it's just beautiful out that way. And so I had a chance to do that. If you ever get a chance to do it, I highly recommend you doing it. Google Maps is a great thing to kind of help you relate where you're going. So that was beautiful. We had a wonderful gathering here at our house on Monday with some friends and family. My friends from the Idaho Horseman Arena Football League was out. If you don't know about them, you should definitely check them out. Their season's over, but they'll be back. They play at the Fort Idaho Center. So Chris and Angelina, there's your shout out, and hopefully you guys can get out there. But we had a really good time and got up about 6 o'clock in the morning and smoked some pork shoulder, real hickory wood, and it was delicious, and had a great time with friends and family. And so, but super excited. I just got myself a new kayak. Can't wait to get that thing out and do some fishing in that, and see if I can't get back into some of these places where a bigger boat can't get to, or where bigger boats aren't allowed, as I discovered at some of these reservoirs last week. But that's it for our show. Thank you for making this a huge success. For those of you that subscribe on our website, really super appreciate you showing your support. We're available on all the podcast platforms. You can find us on YouTube at Gem State Fishing. Of course, the website, gemstatefishing.com. If you sign up to be a subscriber, you get notified before anybody else that the show is available. So just go over there and sign up. It's real easy to do. And we'd love to have you as a part of our family. Thanks for listening. I'm Jeff Cullers. I hope you have a great week. Get out and enjoy this beautiful weather, and I'll see you on the water. We would like to thank you for listening to the Idaho Fishing Report, and would like to remind you to visit our website, gemstatefishing.com, or you can find us on Facebook or YouTube. I'd like to thank our sponsors, our guests, and experts, as well as you, our listener, for making this show possible. This has been an Old Man Studios production. Join us next week for another episode of the Southern Idaho Fishing Report.